Good morning. My name is Jessica, and this is World Daily News on NTWEWS. Russia has fired over 70 drones at Ukraine. Most shot down, but there is destruction in Kiev and Kharkiv. Biden and Starmer discuss support for Ukraine, including supplies of long-range missiles. Severe flooding in Czech Republic prompts evacuations in several towns, situation complicated by downpours. Israel steps up military action against Palestinian groups after more rocket attacks. Japan prepares to launch new lunar mission via usps to explore the moon. Massive Russian drone attack on Ukraine. On the night of September 14th, Russian forces fired more than 70 Shahed kamikaze drones at various regions of Ukraine. According to President Volodymyr Zelensky, Ukrainian air defense managed to shoot down most of the drones, but some of the drones still reached their targets, causing damage in various cities across the country. Among the affected areas are Kiev, Kharkiv, Odessa, and others. In Kharkiv, a Russian aerial bomb hit the Kolodnogorsky district, and debris from downed drones fell on a utility company in Kiev. Explosions were heard in various parts of the country, but preliminary reports say there were no casualties. The Ukrainian president said that allies should step up military assistance, especially in terms of air defense systems and long-range weapons, to protect citizens and infrastructure. Zelensky stressed that the country will continue to work with international partners to increase its defensive capabilities. Biden and Starmer talks on Ukraine support. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer met with U.S. President Joe Biden in Washington. The main topic of discussion was further military assistance to Ukraine, including the provision of long-range missiles for its defense. Journalists asked Starmer whether the meeting discussed authorization for Ukraine to use these missiles against targets on Russian territory. Starmer said the conversation was about overall strategy, not specific steps. Joe Biden has responded to Vladimir Putin's warnings about the consequences of strikes on Russia. The U.S. president said that he did not attach much importance to Putin's threats and expressed his firm support for Ukraine in its struggle. Biden emphasized that the U.S. and its allies would continue to provide Ukraine with all-round assistance, despite possible repercussions from Russia. British experts believe that long-range missiles can improve Ukraine's defense capabilities, but will not become a decisive factor in the war. The Czech Republic has begun evacuating residents of several towns due to severe flooding caused by heavy rains. Downpours flooded residential areas, destroyed roads, and led to partial blockage of transportation. The country's authorities have declared a state of emergency in the most affected areas and organized evacuation points for the population. Rescue services are actively working to minimize the damage and prevent further destruction. Forecasts of forecasters remain unfavorable. Rains are expected to continue for the next few days. Local authorities urge citizens to be cautious and follow the recommendations of rescue services. Some cities have already introduced restrictions on movement to avoid risks to life and health. Israel has seen another escalation in the conflict with Palestinian groups. Israeli forces launched a series of airstrikes on targets in the Gaza Strip in response to Palestinian rocket attacks. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said he is creating a new war cabinet that will include senior military and political figures. The measure is aimed at strengthening coordination and operational decision-making to contain the conflict. The situation remains extremely tense as both sides continue to exchange strikes, increasing the threat of a full-scale escalation. The international community has called on the parties to refrain from violence and resume peace talks, but prospects for a diplomatic solution remain uncertain at this point. Japan-based usps is preparing to launch a new lunar mission that will be an important step in Japan's space program. The mission is scheduled for the coming months and aims to deliver research modules and equipment to analyze the lunar surface. The project comes as part of Japan's ambitious space exploration program, which includes not only lunar exploration, but also possible participation in international projects to establish bases on the Earth's satellite. The mission launch is supported by government and private investors, as well as international partners. However, the program faces challenges, including a lack of funding and the need to develop new technologies for long-term space exploration. Japanese scientists hope the mission will make a significant contribution to future lunar exploration and will be an important step toward establishing permanent bases for research.